if, for example, we were going shopping on eBay or Amazon or Tesco, and you're visually impaired, you would be able to click a button and say, depending on your degree of colour blindness, and you would see it, and that site would change. The website would change so that you could see it in the proper colour. Is that
not the absolute colours? Like someone with red-green colour blindness will never perceive red.
Yeah.
But quite often it's the case that it's the relationships between colours that matters. So depending upon their colour vision deficiency, they can still perceive a broad range of colours. Now, what our algorithms do, try to preserve the differences between colours. So yes, we can change the colour so they can perceive the information content as it was originally intended. But no, they'll never perceive red as I perceive red. I have normal colour vision.
So, but then, have you taken it to somebody, to a big retail website? And
not yet. To start with, we've built a software product that we believe we can ship to colourblind computer users themselves. Based upon the products we've already sold and the talking to colourblind users, we know who has the biggest pain. There's different types of colour blindness, and depending upon the severity of the deficiency, that impacts how well or deficient their colour vision is. And we know that our software has the greatest impact with people who are severely colourblind. So the idea is the software can be used independent of whether they're looking at a website, or they're checking email, or they're doing a presentation, and it recolours what they're looking at based upon their exact colour vision deficiency.
Because all websites at the moment are looking at access. It's the biggest thing. Whoever's got a website, if they can't, the first thing you get in your inbox is, if you're not accessible to blind or partially sighted people, is absolute hell. Rightly so. You get hell from them. So, in theory, your real money comes from going to Asda, Tesco, and getting in with one of those.
Well, is that where the money comes from? And how many people? I mean, I gather colour blindness is largely a male.
That's right. Yeah.
Problem, isn't it? And you get different degrees of it. I mean, so where is your
massive? And I think you should be congratulated. You are sort of almost, one of the things that I find to me, when you look at entrepreneurs, a lot of people don't think of Bill Gates as an entrepreneur, and probably wrongly so. And I think you could, I'm not saying you're going to be the next Bill Gates, clearly not, but I don't want to put you down, but that's a bridge too far for most of us. But I think this is potentially a great concept, I really do, and I can see many, many more different applications, from tablets, which people use for presentation pieces. I can also see this being a potential global product, because we all know that Microsoft have been looking at this type of concept. You probably know, you've researched it. Microsoft looked at this as an issue, and they've actually parked it because they've actually said it's not a big enough issue for us at the moment. But if your algorithms could be deployed into a standard package of Microsoft Office, I would suggest that the real best route for this product is a licensing deal, not sale at all. This is a pure licensing deal. Hopefully you've protected your whole concept. I'm sure you have. If you found the magic formula, which obviously it's purely algorithm based, so I'm assuming that that's possible, if that is potentially patentable, and you've got the IP rights, I think you could be 2 millionaires sitting here today. Because this will be licensed, it will be taken, and it's an easy take on and throw into software packages that will go and serve potentially something like 350 million people around the world. So I just say congratulations. The other thing is, what I find interesting about you is the fact that, I don't know whether you realise it, but when I just watched your video, you were quite interesting. You've got one person that doesn't talk a lot, the other person that fronts it. So I don't know who the brains is, or whether it's a combination of two.
We fight over who is brains and who is brawn.
Both the brains, OK. But I think actually you could have a very neat technology licensing business here, that actually if you just focus on that and not get greedy, I think you could churn out other new ideas and innovations.
The point is, Peter, that actually I gather, and I think you sort of hinted at it in that, and I think has been said in the previous way, that this is just the first of many. You feel your incubators for other type of stuff. Well, I mean, if this is just the first, then that's not a bad first, I don't think. And I'm not colourblind.
In the future, look 5 years ahead. Is there something that actually this is something that could go into a minuscule microchip that actually could go into glasses?
That's interesting. A company in Japan recently.
Because if I can put a pair of glasses on, bang, you've solved my problem for life.
Ideally,
I'd be knocking on the door of Specsavers tomorrow morning if I was you.
Yeah. People have developed glasses that allow you to simulate colour blindness. For example, if you're in town planning situations or you want to evaluate the colours in some scenario, you can wear these glasses that allow you to simulate colour blindness to a certain extent. But that's a much simpler problem than recolouring these colours in such a way that allows them to discern the differences.
Mental awareness, whilst at the same time grabbing the opportunity